do in the public square and in areas and shopping areas now to where vehicles can't just drive into these busy areas. And it's really a shame that in that area, especially in Spain with the known terror things, but there hasn't been anything there terror-wise to this extent in 13 years. But you can't get complacent. You could say, well, we haven't any 9/11 type of attacks, but folks, it could happen today. I mean, these are just the times we live. And it's pretty reflective of what we had saw there. And, these images come to us so quickly. But I think it reminds folks that really were affected by 9/11. And some people that weren't even in New York City to experience it still affected them psychologically. And those images, to me, do have an effect. I mean, there's just so much you can ingest at one time. I have to shut it off. I say a prayer and just what else can you do? I try to learn as much as I possibly can from it, but these things are senseless. And then you say to yourself, well, I hope and pray that our intelligence and people like you and I, if we see something, we say something, that good Americans over here, which many do, as a result, police are able to apprehend, and there's been thousands of arrests since 9/11 for people that have conspired to do some pretty evil things. And thank God for the swiftness of law enforcement and for caring Americans who thought enough of others and themselves and their families to make that phone call. So we have to police our own neighborhoods. We have to police our own cities. And we have to be on the lookout. And so, if I see something in my city, I live in Tampa, and there's something funny going on, I got the chief of police phone number. I just call him. I know the captain. I'll call him directly. And I'll just say what I see, and they'll send a car out, and it's handled. Sometimes it's just vandalism. Sometimes, people are in a building they shouldn't be in, and for a fact they're stripping it, which, is very popular, where people strip buildings when, there might be a little vacancy. Well, what am I talking about? Well, there's some Indian folks that owned a gas station not far from me, and apparently they, I guess, had some financial issues, and 7-Eleven is building, I guess, a 24-hour 7-Eleven, and somebody was stripping stuff out of the building. And for whatever reason, that just upset me. I thought, that's not right. I mean, it really isn't. I mean, the guys were stripping the building out, thought it was great for them to make some money, take it down to the scrapyard, and there you go. But I was not happy because I thought, this affects somebody else's business. And I have a small business, and I wouldn't want anybody to do that. So I made the call. I was a good citizen. We have to do more of that. A lot of people, just keep on going. You shouldn't be that way. That's a good form of what we call paying it forward, is by just doing the right thing. And a lot of us really need to do that. Starbucks chairman is questioning, we're going to talk over after the break coming up here in just a little bit, but Starbucks chairman Howard Schultz, he's been pondering some thoughts, and he's got questions. The chairman of Starbucks is questioning America's moral fiber. Not even kidding. He's been very outspoken on social issues, but the events surrounding a white nationalist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia last week. So, he's kind of thinking about this, and basically Schultz said at an employee forum in Seattle on Tuesday, he had a profound concern about the lack of character, morality, humanity displayed at the rally, according to a recap of the meeting posted on Starbucks' website. He says the moral fiber, the values, and what we as a country have stood for is literally hanging in the abyss, Schultz told employees. We are at a critical juncture in American history. That is not an exaggeration. We are at and facing crucial reality here in our daily life is being challenged and being questioned about what is right and what is wrong. And a throng of hundreds, mostly white men and many carrying guns, as he put it, converged on the college town Saturday, yelling anti-Semitic racist slurs and carrying Confederate flags, neo-Nazi and KKK signs. A street fight broke out between them, and counter-protesters and women were killed, and a woman was killed, and others injured when a man drove a car into police marching against the rally. Now, we're going to continue on with more of his thoughts, but I have to inject here that one woman died, and that's a shame. It could have been more, and thank God it wasn't. And I'm not saying that anything good, that Heather Heyer was killed. That's a terrible thing. She shouldn't have been. But there was one man behind that wheel. One man behind that wheel. Not everybody wanted her dead. The only organization, and it's a hateful organization, but the only organization that said they wished her dead, do you know who that was? The Ku Klux Klan. The leader. And we mentioned it the other day. I don't even want to utter his name. But it was one. And there was violence on both sides, as Trump alluded to, which was true. Now, the KKK, but neo-Nazis and all these white supremacists, yeah, they conjure up the realities of millions of people dying. It's hate. But where do you draw the line for free speech? I understand where people are hurt from this. But, folks, there's hatred in men's hearts. We just saw what ISIS did. We just saw what the Nazi guy did, mowing down Heather. That's hate, folks. That's hate. A lot of the counter-protesters were not doing it in love. Now, you can have righteous anger, but you don't sit there with a hammer and start hammering somebody. 2 members of the media got hit in the head by counter-protesters, not by neo-Nazis, not by the Black Panthers, not by ignorant folks. These people were supposed to be peaceful. And these folks acted as bad as some of the people that they claimed they were out there denouncing. And they lowered themselves. And that's not the way that you're going to be able to win these folks over, to change or persuade their thinking when you act as bad, as worse as they. But we'll continue on the thoughts with the Starbucks chairman. I don't sympathize with white Nazis or any of these people that stand for racism. That's not me. So I'm not saying that, but I'm saying the First Amendment, folks, protects them and protects us. Protests get out of control when they're not separated by the law, and that's where that went awry. A lot of what happened in Charlottesville, folks, had to do with how the local law enforcement officials handled the event, and unfortunately, they did not handle it well. We'll be back.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people, for the people, for the people, for the people is there.
It's unlike anything you've ever been through in your life, man. I was driving. This kid threw a grenade at us and went right over our vehicle. It was 12 years old.
The shockwave went through my head, rattled up my brain, and left.
Danger is around you 360 degrees at all times, and you can't unlearn that.
It's impossible to describe the sacrifices these men and women have made to protect our freedoms. And the job of rebuilding their lives is massive and growing every day. Many will need the programs offered by the Wounded Warrior Project for years to come.
I didn't know what PTSD was. All I knew is I was having nightmares. And when I got released, my reintegration was go check in at the VA, man.
My first coping mechanism was use drugs. Just numb it, don't feel anything.
I was angry. I'm trying to pull myself out of that right now.
Your gift today of $19 per month will honor and empower these veterans so they can aid and assist each other.
The Wounded Warrior Project is a life raft.
I can say this without question that I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for it.
Wounded Warrior Project is the first step, getting back out into the world and reforming yourself outside of the service.
Call or go online with a pledge of $19 a month. You'll receive this Wounded Warrior Project blanket, and your gift will provide critically needed programs that rebuild lives.
That was my first feeling of actually being a part of something bigger than myself again.
Well, I lost a few really close friends overseas, and if I quit, I'm going to let them down, and I'm not about to do that.
I'm learning to face my fears head on. To trust and see what happens at the end.
It's a long process, but I had the drive and desire.
Please, call or go online with your gift right now.
Some things in life need a little attention. Like a plant. If not watered, it begins to turn brown. But if watered properly, its leaves turn green again. Like a plant, For the People needs watering too. Your thoughtfulness provides sustainability for us to grow and reach our full potential. You see, For the People depends on you to broadcast this program to help inform and educate folks so you can make a difference right where you are. Grab your watering can and join us as we endeavor to make a difference in people's lives each and every day. To donate, go to forthepeopleshow.com. That's forthepeopleshow.com. Just look for the watering can and water as much as you can. At For the People, our garden is full of opportunities, and planting something allows others to enjoy the benefits. At For the People, our mission is simple. Give you the news that matters with good old-fashioned common sense, mixed with a conservative point of view. Simply log on to our website at forthepeopleshow.com. That's forthepeopleshow.com. Thanks for your support. Get ready, get set for 123 Ready TV, the brand new app that everyone's talking about for your PC or Android device that allows you access to most every movie or TV show ever made. Sound incredible? Well, it is, because once you pay $19.99, that's all you pay. Just the movies and TV shows you like without the hassle. The internet streams everything already. What 123 Ready does is it finds them, then delivers them directly to you, commercial-free. There's nothing quite like it, and it's available now at forthepeopleshow.com. That's forthepeopleshow.com. And before you buy 123 Ready TV, watch the video and see how simple it is to start watching all those movies and TV shows. If you like movies and TV shows, but don't enjoy paying for all of them, no problem. Just pay $19.99 and start enjoying countless titles and entertaining TV better than anyone. Get your 123 Ready TV for $19.99 at forthepeopleshow.com. Just click on the store page. And For the People continues coast to coast. You can find us on Facebook at For the People Show, on Twitter at hashtag Talk to Keith Allen, or on our website. All those things and more at forthepeopleshow.com. Okay, back into the story. And by the way, I got to say just a few things before we continue on what the chairman of Starbucks, Howard Schultz, has said about our moral fiber in our country. Is there in Charlottesville, people decided that they wanted to show up. This is a point that I have to solidify and I have to put out there again, because I feel like it was amiss to not. People went there with their agendas. Now, there were folks that were opposing, had their agenda, because a lot of them said that they opposed what a lot of these groups had to say or what they stood for. So they thought it was their moral duty, their obligation, like Heather Heyer, and their good conscience to go out and counter-protest what these people stood for. You know, I never really understood really how effective protests are. Somebody's yelling at